What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Battlefield and some quotes from our good old friend, CEO of EA, Andrew Wilson. Now, he has said just the darnest things, in his lifetime as CEO, and I got to be real, is this the worst thing that he said? No, it's actually not. It's repetition. We've heard this before. I want to just talk a little bit about that, right? Because I think it comes from a place of hype. It comes from a place of, hey, get excited because, we're going all out. But, it kind of leads to a deeper thing where it's like, we've been told that before. We've been here, done that. And this is about proving it. And funny enough, EA's got a lot of games. We talk about Dragon Age the Veilguard quite a bit on the channel, right? BioWare, even I'd say Mass Effect from BioWare, they're in a prove it situation. EA's redeemed themselves a little bit here, and depending on kind of which genre and which kind of section you're looking at. Sports games, maybe besides college football, maybe they've learned some stuff there, but like sports games generally is still the same stuff. Live service shooter kind of stuff, same stuff. They've bounced back with like the Jedi games, and they do some indie kind of stuff that's pretty darn good, but there's some growing still necessary, and this is one of them. You've got to improve with the next Battlefield. This cannot just be these glorified headlines, right? With these big buzzwords of like biggest, most ambitious, that kind of stuff. You've said that before. You said that for Battlefield 2042, and look at what happened with that. Now, it's redeemed itself a little bit. Like, it's had somewhat of a comeback story, but not really. I mean, not in the grand scheme of things. I think for a lot of people, it's about day one with this new Battlefield game, not year 5, not year 2, not year 3. I don't think they have that long to fix whatever might be wrong with the next Battlefield game. You got to get it done right away. So enough ranting. I actually did most of my conversational piece, in the beginning here. Let's look at what he says. So EA's Andrew Wilson, this comes from PC Gamer, sure likes his bold claims, right? And they actually list off some of his accolades, of what he said before. But in terms of Battlefield, he specifically says, this is not just one of our top priorities. It is also one of the most ambitious projects in our history. We have brought together the very best team, coupled with the resources and technology they need to deliver an epic Battlefield experience. And then even PC Gamer says there was that studio closure earlier this year. He has still previously referred to the team working on the next Battlefield as the largest Battlefield team in history, set to build a Battlefield universe across connected multiplayer and single-player experiences. I imagine that kind of stuff might sting if you were one of the devs at the now shuttered studios. That part obviously from PC Gamer. So yeah, I mean, they are right? It's cool to fact check, like, hey, well, this thing happened, and look, again, does it come from a place of hype? Does it come from a place of, in this case, it's like investors and it's money talking, right? Like, does this come from a place of, hey, your money's safe, we're going to nail it, it's going to be huge, it's going to be bigger than anything you've ever, this kind of like pep talk, right? And we're going to make a lot of money, and you're going to make a lot of money. Like, I get it. And especially, you have to kind of sell it, especially when you don't have anything else, and I'm not saying anything else like the sports games are doing well, right? I'm saying anything else to show for Battlefield, right? Like right now, it is all buzzwords. It is all talk. You don't have the product. And maybe to the investors, you're never going to, you'll never get to kind of that part. You'll always kind of just talk ambiguously. But to us, to the consumer, this is all we get right now, right? There's nothing else there. Eventually, this stuff is, it's always all talk. But once we see the game, it'll very much be kind of pushed to the side. I think like phrases like this, right? Because it's all about what we see. And I think they're going to be critical, Battlefield fans. I know I am. I mean, you can't keep letting them get away with this. And I'm not saying you, I think just in general. And I think, a lot of people, including myself, feel betrayed. I feel betrayed, as I've said many times, because I loved Battlefront 2, like Star Wars Battlefront 2. I love that game, and I don't really think that's controversial. I think that was a really great game. They had the redemption after the loot box thing, right? They were pumping stuff out, and they had more plans. They had more characters, more maps, more modes, all that stuff. And then they get pulled, to work on this 2042, and that didn't work out. And generally, I don't think Battlefield's been as strong the last couple entries as it was, in my opinion, during the golden year. Like Battlefield 3 is one that I remember so fondly, and that game's actually being taken from us. Battlefield 3 and 4, certain aspects of it, due to EA pulling plugs, right? So that's the golden age for me. I don't think we've really gotten back to that in quite a while, but there's hits here and there. There's also misses, but I'm excited. I am excited for the next Battlefield game. I think we need it. I think the universe and the gaming, atmosphere, I think it's better off. It's definitely better off with a good Battlefield game. I think we can all kind of agree there is something fun, even though they're different. I think there's something fun to Battlefield versus COD, or them kind of pushing each other, and they're not just being like one Titan, right? Like there can be two, and they can be kind of different. They can even be for different people, and they can both kind of thrive and succeed, right? Like I look at that as a pro. When they're kind of both struggling, I mean, one's not really struggling with sales, but when they're both, generally struggling with quality, it's not nearly as fun, right? There's not as much to kind of focus on. But hopefully Battlefield, pumps it up next. And it seems like from like the rumors and things like that, maybe next fall of 2025 is when the next Battlefield game comes out. As you saw like in the article, and it has been, stated, like they're making like a universe, right? Like certain teams are just doing single player stuff, certain teams are just doing multiplayer, all that jazz. So it's going to be different. Like whatever comes next and the way they structure Battlefield, it is going to be more of the modern age stuff, which I don't know if that's going to be, all that great, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.